Most people work hard for their money, but very few ever learn how to make their money work hard for them. And that is exactly why so many high-income earners still live paycheck to paycheck, while others with less income quietly build wealth in the background. What if I told you that it's not how much you make that determines your financial future, but how you invest what you already make? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Earning more money will not fix poor financial habits. In fact, it often makes them worse. Lifestyle inflation creeps in, spending expands, and suddenly, no matter how much you earn, it still feels like it's not enough. But there is a different path, a smarter path. One used by financially free people, investors and wealth builders who understand one simple principle: money is a tool, not a reward. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover how to invest your income like a pro, step by step. Not complicated theories, not Wall Street jargon. Just clear, practical lessons you can start applying immediately to change your financial trajectory. And stay until the end, because the final lesson is the one most people ignore, and it quietly separates the wealthy from everyone else. Lesson 1. Pay yourself first, always. The fundamental law of wealth creation is not found in the size of your paycheck, but in the sequence of your spending. To pay yourself first is to acknowledge that your future self is your most important creditor. Most people approach their finances with a leftover mentality. They receive their income, pay the landlord, the utility company, the grocer, and the entertainment subscription services, and then if the stars align, they tuck away whatever remains. The problem with this residual approach is that Parkinson's law ensures your expenses will always rise to meet your income. Without a structural intervention, there is rarely anything left over. By flipping the script and treating your savings as a non-negotiable invoice that must be settled before any other debt, you break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck and begin the process of building a fortress. Wealthy investors treat their personal savings rate like a mandatory government tax, except this tax builds their own empire rather than someone else's. When you automate a deduction of 10%, 15%, or 20% of your gross income into an investment account, you are essentially making a psychological contract with yourself. You are deciding that your long-term freedom is more valuable than a temporary upgrade in lifestyle. This discipline forces you to become more efficient with the remaining 80% or 90% of your capital. It creates a healthy scarcity in your daily checking account that drives better decision-making and discourages impulsive consumerism. Over time, this consistent habit builds a psychological momentum that is as powerful as the financial momentum it generates. The mathematics of paying yourself first are bolstered by the sheer force of consistency. Consider that even a modest 10% allocation, when directed into productive assets, acts as the seed for a harvest that grows exponentially. If you wait until you feel like you have enough money to save, you will wait forever. The economy is designed to tempt you into spending every cent you earn. Marketing departments spend billions of dollars to convince you that your current income belongs to them. Paying yourself first is an act of rebellion against a consumer-driven culture. It is the ultimate expression of self-respect and the only guaranteed way to ensure that you are not just a pass-through entity for your employer's cash to reach the hands of retailers. Furthermore, this lesson isn't just about the money, it's about the shift in identity. When you pay yourself first, you stop identifying as a spender and start identifying as an owner. You begin to look at every dollar not as a piece of paper to be traded for a burger or a shirt, but as a money soldier that can work for you 24 hours a day. This shift in perspective changes how you view your job and your career. Your salary is no longer just a means to survive, it becomes the fuel for your freedom machine. As the balance in your investment accounts grows, your stress levels tend to decrease because you have created a margin of safety. You are no longer one missed paycheck away from disaster, and that peace of mind is the first true dividend of financial discipline. Lesson 2. Invest for cash flow, not just growth. There is a seductive lure in the world of capital gains that often leads the uninitiated toward financial ruin. The amateur investor is obsessed with the buy low, sell high mantra, constantly checking tickers and hoping that someone else will pay more for an asset than they did. This is essentially a game of speculation, often referred to as the greater fool theory. While growth is important, it is inherently volatile and unpredictable. You cannot pay your mortgage with potential growth or paper gains. Professionals, however, prioritize cash flow, the tangible recurring income that an asset produces regardless of its market price. Whether it is dividends from a blue-chip stock, monthly rent from a multi-family property, or distributions from a private business, cash flow is the lifeblood of true financial independence. The beauty of cash flow investing lies in the yield on cost. When you buy an asset for the income it generates, the fluctuating market price becomes secondary. If the stock market crashes by 30%, but your dividend-paying stocks continue to deposit checks into your account, your lifestyle remains unaffected. In fact, for the cash flow investor, a market dip is often welcomed as a sale that allows them to buy more income at a cheaper price. This creates a psychological barrier against panic selling. When you invest for growth alone, a market downturn feels like a direct hit to your net worth and your future. When you invest for cash flow, a downturn is simply a change in the valuation of your golden goose while the eggs keep arriving every morning. Cash flow provides the ultimate luxury, the ability to quit a job you dislike without needing to liquidate your portfolio. If your monthly expenses are $5,000 and your assets generate $5,100 in passive cash flow, you are mathematically free. You are no longer dependent on the whims of a boss or the health of the labor market. Growth-heavy portfolios, such as those concentrated in non-dividend-paying tech stocks or speculative cryptocurrencies, require you to sell pieces of your seed corn to pay for dinner. This drawdown strategy is dangerous because if the market stays down for an extended period, you risk running out of capital. Cash flow investing, by contrast, allows you to live off the fruit while leaving the tree intact for future generations. To transition from an amateur to a professional mindset, one must begin to evaluate every investment through the lens of its yield. You must ask, what is this asset going to pay me for the privilege of owning it? If the answer is nothing, unless the price goes up, you are gambling on market sentiment. If the answer is a 6% annual return paid monthly, you are building an income stream. Real estate is perhaps the most classic example of this. While the property may appreciate over 20 years, it is the monthly rent that covers the taxes, the maintenance, and your personal bills. By focusing on the check in the mail, you insulate yourself from the emotional roller coaster of the stock market and build a sustainable, resilient financial empire. Lesson 3. Diversify with intention, not randomness. Diversification is often misunderstood as the shotgun approach to investing, buying a little bit of everything in the hopes that something hits. This random diversification often leads to mediocre returns and a portfolio that is so bloated it becomes impossible to manage. True intentional diversification is a strategic exercise in risk management and correlation. It is the art of owning different asset classes that do not move in lockstep with one another. If all your investments go up at the same time, they will likely all go down at the same time. The goal is to create a weatherproof portfolio where, for example, your bonds might provide stability when stocks are volatile, or your real estate holdings provide a hedge against the inflation that devalues your cash. Intentional diversification requires a deep understanding of how different economic cycles affect various assets. For instance, in a period of high inflation, hard assets like commodities or rental properties tend to outperform as they allow for price adjustments. Conversely, in a deflationary environment, high-quality government bonds and cash might be the king. A sophisticated investor doesn't just buy the S&P 500 and call it a day. They look for uncorrelated returns. This might include private lending, precious metals, or even niche business ventures. By spreading risk across different sectors, geographies, and asset types, you ensure that a single localized disaster like a tech bubble burst or a local real estate crash doesn't wipe out your entire life's work. The danger of over-diversification or diversification is that you can end up owning so many things that you don't actually understand any of them. Each asset in your portfolio should serve a specific purpose. You might have defensive assets designed for capital preservation and offensive assets designed for aggressive growth. You might have liquid assets like stocks that can be sold in seconds and illiquid assets like private equity that offer higher returns in exchange for locking up your money. The key is to be the architect of your portfolio, not just a collector of symbols. Every addition to your holdings should fill a gap in your overall strategy, reducing your total risk without significantly sacrificing your potential for return. Ultimately, diversification is the only free lunch in finance, as it allows you to lower the standard deviation of your returns, the bumpiness of the ride, while maintaining a solid upward trajectory. However, it must be paired with conviction. You shouldn't diversify out of fear, but out of a rational acknowledgement that the future is uncertain. No one knows which asset class will be the top performer next year. By being intentionally diversified, you ensure that you always have a winner in your stable. This balance allows you to stay in the game long enough for the power of compounding to work its magic. It is about surviving the storms so that you are still standing when the sun comes out. Lesson 4. Reinvest everything at the start. The most dangerous trap for a new investor is the temptation to spend the first wins. When your first rental property generates a profit, or your stocks pay their first significant dividend, the impulse is to use that found money to buy a new car, a luxury watch, or a vacation. This is a fatal mistake in the wealth-building process. In the early stages of investing, your capital is like a small fire. If you take the wood away to warm another room, the fire will go out. You must be willing to live below your means even as your assets grow, recycling every penny of profit back into the purchase of more assets. This compounding of the compounding is the secret engine that separates the moderately comfortable from the truly wealthy. Compounding is often described as the eighth wonder of the world, but its power is heavily backloaded. In the first 5 to 10 years, the progress feels agonizingly slow. You might be reinvesting $500 a month and seeing very little change in your lifestyle. However, if you stick to the plan and refuse to skim off the top, you eventually reach a tipping point where the growth of the assets exceeds your original contributions. By reinvesting your returns, you are essentially hiring more money soldiers to join the fight. If your initial investment earns 10% and you reinvest that 10%, your next year's return is calculated on 110% of your original capital. Over decades, this snowball effect becomes an avalanche that can generate more wealth in a single year than you earned in the previous 10 combined. The discipline of reinvestment is also a powerful tool for building character and patience. It forces you to delay gratification and focus on the long-term horizon. Most people fail at investing not because they pick the wrong stocks, but because they lack the temperament to leave their money alone. They harvest their gains too early to fund a lifestyle they haven't yet truly earned. If you can maintain your current standard of living while your investments grow, you create a massive wealth gap that eventually becomes insurmountable. The goal is to reach a state of critical mass where your assets produce so much income that you could spend half of it and still have enough left over to continue growing the principal. Think of your investment portfolio as a farm. If you eat your seeds, you will have a nice meal today, but you will starve next year. If you plant the seeds, you get a harvest. If you then eat the entire harvest, you are back to square one. But if you replant the majority of that harvest, you will eventually own an orchard that can feed your family for generations without you ever having to lift a shovel again. The early years of investing are the planting years. They require sacrifice and a refusal to be swayed by the conspicuous consumption of your peers. By the time they are struggling to maintain their depreciating luxury goods, you will be sitting in the shade of the trees you had the foresight to plant and protect. Lesson 5. Invest in your financial intelligence. The most valuable asset you will ever own is the 6 inches of gray matter between your ears. While markets can crash, real estate can be taxed, and currencies can be devalued, your knowledge and skills are portable and permanent. Financial intelligence, the ability to understand how money works, how it is made, how it is kept, and how it is multiplied, is the multiplier for every other investment you make. A person with high financial intelligence can take $10,000 and turn it into a fortune, while a person with low financial intelligence can inherit $1 million and be broke within 24 months. The return on investment ROI on a book, a seminar, or a mentorship is often calculated in the thousands of %. Investing in your education allows you to see opportunities that others miss and risks that others ignore. For example, understanding the tax code is not just for accountants, it is a vital skill for the wealth builder. Taxes are likely your single largest expense in life. By learning how to legally minimize that burden through strategic investing, you effectively earn an extra 20% to 30% on your money without any additional risk. Similarly, Learning the soft skills of negotiation, sales, and leadership can increase your primary earning power, giving you more capital to feed into your investment machine. The more you know, the less you have to gamble, because you are making decisions based on data and logic rather than hype and emotion. We live in an era of information abundance but wisdom scarcity. It is easy to find hot tips on social media, but it is difficult to find a deep, principled understanding of value. Investing in your financial intelligence means going beyond the headlines. It means studying the history of market cycles, learning how to read a balance sheet, and understanding the psychological biases that lead to poor decision-making. It also means investing in your health and your network. Your physical energy determines your productivity, and your network often determines your net worth through access to private deals and high-level information. Every hour spent learning is an hour spent increasing your earning floor, the minimum amount you can produce regardless of the economic climate. Ultimately, financial intelligence provides you with the ultimate form of security, self-reliance. When you understand the rules of the game, you no longer fear the news or the politicians. You know that wealth is not a zero-sum game, but a result of providing value and managing risk. You become an active participant in your financial destiny rather than a passive victim of the economy. The greatest dividend of your education isn't the extra money in your bank account. It is the confidence and clarity that comes from knowing exactly what to do when opportunity knocks. In a world of constant change, the only way to remain wealthy is to be a lifelong student of the game. Most people believe investing is about timing the market, finding the perfect stock, or waiting for the right moment. But the truth is far simpler and far more powerful. Investing like a pro is not about complexity. It's about discipline, consistency, and behavior. If you look closely at financially successful people, you'll notice something surprising. They are not always the highest earners. They are simply the most intentional allocators of capital. Every dollar they earn has a job. Every decision is designed to move them closer to freedom, not just comfort. And that is the real shift you need to make. Stop thinking like someone who spends first and invests later. Start thinking like someone who invests first and builds everything else around that decision. Because wealth is not created in sudden moments, it is built in repeated habits. Small, boring, consistent actions that compound over time into something extraordinary. If you apply even a few of these principles starting today, your financial future will not just improve, it will fundamentally change direction. The question is no longer whether you can invest. The real question is, will you start treating your income like a tool for freedom instead of just survival? And that decision, more than anything else, will define your future.